stand with you. I want to define a couple things, and our general was very kind in how he said things. I'm not as usually as elegant in how I say things, so I'm gonna first say that peaceful protests are part of our democracy. We invite people to share their opinions. That's what our country is all about. The key word in that is peaceful. And if it's peaceful, us in law enforcement are going to make sure you have a safe environment to do it in. That's part of that process. If you let it turn violent, you do not want to do that in Brevard County. I'm going to tell you that, and I believe I can speak for my fellow sheriffs around the rest of the state. You don't want to let it happen. And just so there's no confusion, because I don't want to hear any whining later saying we didn't know, I'm going to break it down for you, all right? Because as you watch these riots unfold across the rest of the country, what you are seeing is buildings being burned down, police cars being bricked, having explosive devices thrown on them, having fire, guns pointed at them, bricks thrown at them, all in all. So I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tight, because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and then jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at. In Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tight, because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and then jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at.
You just heard from Florida's sheriff. I think he made it perfectly clear. This is what daddy looks like. This is what a father looks like. This is what leadership looks like. And this is what law enforcement looks like. It's something about growing up around Florida's crocodiles, where many times you got to watch your back, because they just might have you for lunch. It makes you tough. Those weak, weenie, decade-old politicians who allowed you clowns to tear up, destroy, burglarize, create havoc, vandalize, then get out of jail before the ink got dry. You just heard from a man a man's man. Not your ordinary badge-toting law enforcement officer. You just witnessed the Statue of Liberty's firstborn son. A James Brown, Papa Don't Take No Mess, and a Clint Eastwood come to life force who uttered that famous line. You got to ask yourself one question. Do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Franchise Pearson, and welcome again to my channel. I never thought I would see a day like this in America. Don't get it twisted. This is not no cowboy movie about how the West was won. This is about an America that is being transformed from within. Yet, there are those old school folks out here who will resist that change till their dying breath. There are pockets, cities and states, counties, neighborhoods. They're fed up. They've been fed up. And they're just not going to take it no more. I want to give this man his respect, because at least he told you. At least he clarified. And for those of you who understand science and you understand the power of words, don't think what he just uttered from his pulpit in Florida will not reverberate throughout America. Don't you for 1 minute think that you're going to Watusi in some of these cities and show out paid protester or somebody who just want to tear it up. No, this ain't 5 years ago. There is a new sheriff in town. And he's going to stand for truth, justice, and the American way. And if you don't know, now you know. And if you don't think you know, I suggest you ask somebody. You brought it on yourself. I'm not feeling sorry for you. You see, because God created an order that if it's followed, if a human being respects another human being, their space, their property, their family, then everything just comes full circle naturally. And everybody is going along and getting along. But if you violate, the heavens have placed in the universe a percolation moment. My friend, we're at that moment. You might even define it as a crossroads, but we're here. Many of you all grew up with no daddy in the house. So you might take it as a joke. Let me tell you something. Don't try this, man. You see, because men have been wanting, aching, longing for days like this. They want to get back to sanity. They want to get back where they can respect your peaceful protests, and yet have you not infringe upon them, block their cars, block their roadways, intimidate their families, burglarize and terrorize their neighborhood. Men have been waiting for it. They want to do things decent and order, but I'm telling you, they've been itching. For a moment like this. See, I understand. Men we're built way different than a woman. We got a little less tolerance for your mess. And I would say this to you. You're lucky. You're very lucky that this here sheriff spoke out now, a day before Trump's birthday celebration and the Army's celebration. You're lucky that he spoke out now, because I am sure there are some men out here that are ready to handle their business. And you don't want to see that. They're not going to make no announcement. And you ain't either. You know, there's a famous line. You got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet. That's wisdom speaking. That's a warning. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I wish I was in Florida. The stock of Florida just went through the roof. We innately want to feel safe as human beings. We want to know that when we know that our tax dollars are being taken out of our check, it's providing service. This is what this man is doing. There's no sense of interpreting it any other way. You don't have a right to take a brick or any object, break a store, loot a business. You don't have that right. You don't have that right. You're setting climate. This man just pushed it back. The tug of war has not been because of these weenie politicians and district attorneys in some of these cities, big cities. And like I said, even before the ink is dry, your butt is out of jail. I know that there is a hidden hand in all of this. that has created this situation in America. But there is a thread, people. There is a thread that don't give a rat's you know what about whether it was manufactured or not. They just want peace. So don't think that you've diagnosed this thing, you've analyzed this thing, where you think that you can go in any city tomorrow and act like you've been acting. You might as well take old school John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, Terminator, wrap them all up in a ball. You're not coming out with Gumby. You're coming out with a fighting force. You see, because when you keep a man from his order, there's a buildup. That's the kind of man you don't want to mess with. Because once he percolates to a point from that buildup, and that green light finally comes on, he's now in beast mode. That's the part you didn't anticipate. And that's the part that will land many of you guys here. Ain't no kumbaya, holding hands. Don't try to dig up Dr. King. Don't call Reverend Al, Jesse Jackson. Forget it. It's not going to happen. I might add this, and you might not like it. Folks in the South. Woo! Folks in the South. Put in the comment section, you know where I'm going with it. Folks in the South. Turn your dream into a nightmare. I've been patriotic, just born that way. I'm not a sellout. I don't play the race card. I understand that there is racism. But if I have to choose a side, I'm choosing the people who want to stand for law and order. Because that's going to allow me to dream, irregardless of any culture background that I have, any religious base, any ethnic group, anything that I stand on. It's going to allow me to have the potentiality to flourish. So I ain't got no problem with what he said. No problem at all. It was Kamala Harris who said during the campaign, I know Donald Trump's type. Really? Really? I think we all just found out what Florida's sheriff what he looked like. Red, yellow, black, and white. He looked like America. Figure it out real quick. After tomorrow, I'll get back. We'll see. Because you're going to have a myriad of people that don't see this video who didn't hear him and who didn't want to hear him. They might take the farms, put them out there to pasture, like they used to hold the convicts back in the day. It's hot in Florida, so you can take a whole bunch of folks and put them on the farm, let them live their sentence out there. And I think by now Alcatraz is reopened. At least it's partly ready. There's a fate call going on here. And a lot of folks will be trapped and will fall right into the trap. Let's just call it America's last dance. I'm with you.